Before you watch our videos, hit that subscribe button down there, and activate the bell icon so that you will be notified of our latest videos.
I'm an actress and an animal rights activist. But lately, I've turned my focus to climate change because it's the single biggest threat facing us all. Recently, I've been hearing about carbon pricing, a solution that all sorts of prominent people are talking about.
We need to put a clear price on carbon.
Carbon pricing is critical for reducing emissions.
Renewable energy, fossil fuels, and putting a price on carbon pollution are beginning to turn the tide.
I have long believed the most elegant way to reduce carbon emissions is to put a price on them.
Putting a price on carbon? What do they mean by that? I hear there's a guy in town who might be able to explain.
Thank you very much. My name is Yaron Bauman. I appear before you tonight as the world's first and only stand-up economist. I really only have one thing going for me as a stand-up economist, and that's low expectations. Actually, when I do serious economics work, I work on climate change and carbon taxes, the idea that we can use the tools of economics to protect the environment. Though I did this talk once for a very conservative crowd in Minnesota, and this fellow came up to me and said that the stuff I said about climate change was the funniest part of my whole routine.
Climate change is really overwhelming. And I've heard about carbon pricing, I've heard it could be a solution, but I don't really know what it is.
Basically, it's the idea that the way to get less pollution is to make polluting expensive. And ultimately, it's a pretty simple idea. Let's pay more for bad things and let's pay less for good things. Let's change our tax system in a way that fossil fuel and fossil fuel intensive products are more expensive and that more sustainable products are less expensive so that everybody has an incentive to do the right thing.
I think people are afraid of the word tax. People just feel like they have to pay more money. What do we say to those people?
Changing the tax system doesn't just involve penalties. We're going to have higher taxes on carbon emissions, but they're going to be offset by lower taxes on income, on sales, on all the good things that we want to encourage in the economy.
You know, my mom's a smoker, and I remember the increase in tax, and I remember that actually changed a lot of lives. It influenced a lot of people in their decision-making.
It's a similar idea with this sin tax, with a tax on cigarettes, a tax on alcohol, where you're trying to use the tax system to influence people's behaviors. You know, we're not talking about huge changes, we're talking about a relatively small tweak to the tax system, and it's going to have ripple effects that are going to change the world.
I didn't realize that right now, across most of the US, companies can put CO2 in the air for free. A carbon price is simply a tax on the pollution that's causing climate change. So why aren't we doing this? As I dig a little more, I'm finding out that we very nearly did. In 2008, cap and trade, a form of carbon pricing, had the support of both Democratic and Republican politicians.
The energy bill before the House will finally create a set of incentives that will spark a clean energy transformation of our economy.
Once you price carbon in a reasonable way, this green economy that we're hoping for really will begin to flourish.
But the fossil fuel industry is one of the most profitable in human history, and in 2009, they fought back hard, organizing anti-carbon pricing rallies and spending close to $200 million on campaigns.
They call it cap and trade, but it's really just a big new tax all of us will end up paying for.
And I'll take dead aim at the cap and trade bill.
Before most people really knew what a carbon price was, they were convinced it was a bad idea. Since then, some states have made progress, but Congress has failed to pass a national carbon price a staggering 27 times. I hate to think of the damage our inaction is causing, not just here, but around the world.